Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and good day. Thank you all for joining us for Brand USA's annual meeting of the Board of Directors. Today's November 18th. I want to start us off. I'm going to ask the board to elect a chair to host this meeting and to run the proceedings. So with that, I'm going to open the floor for nominations for a chair for this meeting.
I'd like to nominate Todd Davis to fill that role as chair.
Second.
We have a nomination of Todd and a second for Todd. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Congratulations, Todd. Thank you
Fred.
for helping us lead the meeting today. I'll
Happily.
turn it over to you to open us up.
Happily. Thank you very much, Fred. And thank you, board members. Thank you for those that were able to make the trip into DC. These are really important times, as we all know. We have an incredibly full agenda today. So I also want to extend my welcome to our annual meeting of the Brand USA Board of Directors as well. Fred and the team have a lot to walk us through today in terms of our current environment, being able to showcase with us some of our recent successes, but also give us an opportunity to explore a little further a framework for the future. So with that, Fred, it is my pleasure to turn it, excuse me, before I do that, I do need to take a motion to approve the minutes. So board members, the minutes of our last public meeting, July 17th, were distributed as part of our pre-read materials. And I would ask for a motion to approve those minutes as provided.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, those minutes will stand approved as provided. Also, as is consistent with our annual practice, I'd like to ask the board to also vote on the continued service of Fred Dixon as our executive director to manage our day-to-day operations, Don Richardson as our chief financial officer to be responsible for the financial management and reporting, and Jake Conte as our acting secretary to be responsible for record keeping. And for that, I will also entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Hari. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that motion passes. Now it is my pleasure, Fred, to turn this over to you.
Thank you so much, Todd. Really appreciate that. And thank you for that procedural vote as an annual measure. So again, good afternoon, everyone. Before we dive into today's agenda, I want to just take a moment to reflect on where we are as an organization. It, of course, is no secret that it's been a pivotal year for us in so many ways at Brand USA. And through it all, we've remained steady, continuing to deliver on our mission and move the work forward. And thanks to the leadership of our board and the incredible commitment of our team, we have been able to do that. One of the most significant developments this year came just before the federal government shut down, when we received in one fell swoop our matching funds for submissions dating all the way back to January. This disbursement, which was months in the making, could not have come at a more critical time. It allowed us to start FY26 with greater confidence and an increased budget, while also ensuring the continuity of operations through FY27. So a significant bit of news there and something we're incredibly grateful for. I want to thank Secretary Lutnick for his leadership and to the teams at Commerce and Treasury for their hard work to help get this done. The disbursement of these funds and our ongoing dialogue with high levels of administration are a strong signal of support and a clear example of the headway we're making in Washington. In fact, we are optimistic that the coming weeks will see new solutions, potentially to the reduction in our matching funds for this and next fiscal year, following this past summer's budget reconciliation bill. Brand USA continues to operate with focus and momentum, and I'm confident the work we do will continue to maximize inbound travel and the impact of next year's marquee moments in particular. We are actioning our FY26 business plan as we speak, which you'll hear more about later in the meeting. Now then, in just a few minutes, you will hear from our head of research about the state of the inbound industry writ large. But let me say this, our industry's role in the economy has never been more important. While the headlines present a mixed picture here at Brand USA, we are focused on leveraging the economic power of our sector for the benefit of the American people. U.S. travel and tourism exports through July totaled $147 billion, up 2% year over year. And by year's end, that spending is forecast to generate nearly $40 billion in federal tax revenue, support over 3 million American jobs, and contribute to a total economic impact of more than $550 billion. Today, you will hear from leaders across the organization about how we will pursue our work in the year ahead. Some key highlights will include our laser focus on driving economic impact, consolidation of resources into target markets and segments, our newly launched America the Beautiful campaign and accompanying platform, embedded AI innovations across consumer-facing and enterprise systems, and a look ahead to the expansion of Brand USA Travel Week to new markets and previews of our programming for the World Cup and America 250. With that preamble, I'd like to now turn things over to Don Richardson, our Chief Financial Officer, for a preliminary look at the close of our FY25 financials. Don, over to you.
Great, thanks, Greg. Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. As Fred said, it was an interesting year. Ultimately, some events led us to reducing our budget from down to $190 million. But I'm pleased today to share the preliminary numbers with you. Next slide, please. So our total revenue for the year was $60 million, and you see the various categories in which those revenues were collected. Total expenses were $182 million, which was $8 million below our budget. And we met all of our matching requirements to have sustained the $100 million that was set aside for that purpose. So at the end of the day, it was actually not a bad year. Our partners were supportive of us. We underspent our budget and we met the matching requirements. Happy to take any questions from you. Hearing none, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Don. Appreciate that. Now I would like to introduce my colleague, our Senior Director of Research, Chelsea Benitez, to give us an update on the latest insights in international visitation, where we stand with airline seat capacity in particular and consumer sentiment. Chelsea, over to you.
Thank you, Fred, and hello, everyone. It's great to be with you today. To set the stage, I'll start with a quick look at the current state of U.S. inbound visitation in 2025. The most current data on inbound visitation from NTTO is through July of this year. We expect to have further updates now that the government is reopened, but looking at the first 7 months of the year, we see a mixed picture. Mexico arrivals are up at 12%, adding about 1.1 million visitors year over year, which is a real bright spot. That growth is more than offset by Canada, however, down 20% or about 2.4 million visitors, and a slight 2% decline in overseas arrivals, about 300,000 fewer visitors. Taken together, that nets out to a 4% decline in total international visitation year to date. Tourism Economics' recent forecast shows 67.9 million visitors in 2025, down from 2024. The good news is that they see arrivals rebounding starting next year in 2026. This year, Mexico overtook Canada as our #1 overall source market, and it is expected to remain #1 throughout 2029. You can see how the 2025 outlook has shifted over the last 12 months. Tourism Economics started with a very optimistic forecast in December of 2024, then saw a sharp downgrade in March of 2025. Since then, expectations have improved slightly to a forecast of 67.9 million visitors. So while 2025 is still forecasted to be down year over year, the trajectory has improved from the low point in the spring. The full year 2025 outlook is mixed across the top 10 inbound markets. Year over year gains are expected in Mexico and Japan, both showing strong continued demand and recovery momentum. The UK and Brazil are also projected to hold steady with small increases. On the other hand, Canada is expected to fall about 22% for the full year, and key markets like Germany, France, and South Korea are also expected to show softer demand. Altogether, these top 10 markets represent about 3/4 of total international visitation, so even modest changes in a few large markets have a significant impact on overall performance. This is exactly why Brand USA has leaned into a more granular market selection analysis. Brand USA's in-house research team has developed a robust market selection model that we originally built to prioritize media markets for the launch of America the Beautiful and to support FY26 planning. Since then, we've evolved it into a monthly decision tool. Each month, we track 16 key markets on a common set of indicators and roll that into a simple traffic light scorecard with red flag alerts. That lets us quickly see where momentum is building, where it's stalling, and where we may need to shift spend. In practice, this means our paid media strategy stays aligned with current market momentum, not just an annual plan, and it gives us a clear evidence base for both in-year optimizations and FY26 market and budget decisions. With respect to airlift, the picture is much more positive. Nonstop capacity to the US is now above pre-pandemic levels, and that record connectivity gives us a strong foundation to capture demand as the visitation curve improves. Today, there are more ways to get to the United States than ever before. Nonstop seat capacity surpassed pre-pandemic levels in 2024 and continues to grow in 2025. This year, the United States has direct nonstop service from 268 origin airports in 104 countries, totaling 162 million inbound nonstop seats. Looking specifically at new routes, airlines are planning 188 new nonstop services to the United States from 57 countries over 2025 and the first half of 2026. That level of investment underscores carrier confidence in the United States as a destination, and it gives us more opportunities to align marketing with new airlift. To understand the demand side, we've layered in monthly consumer sentiment work across 11 markets, tracking who plans to travel, who is considering the United States, and what might hold them back. Our monthly omnibus study reaches 1,000 respondents per market for a total sample of just over 11,000 adults. This data was collected just last week across 11 countries, focusing on intent to take an international leisure trip in the next 12 months. At a global level, intent to travel internationally is holding steady at about 58% for most of 2025. So even with economic and geopolitical uncertainty, a solid majority of travelers still expect to take an international holiday in the coming year. When we narrow in on the United States specifically, intent declined gradually earlier in 2025, but in recent survey waves, it has stopped falling and begun to stabilize. We're still below 2024 levels for intent, but this trend now points to a leveling off rather than a continued decline. Despite that softening compared to last year, the United States still leads the pack. Across the 11 markets we track, the US is the top destination overall likely to visit, or the top long-haul choice in several key individual markets in the Americas, Europe, and Asia. For those who are unlikely to travel internationally, cost clearly dominates the conversation. It's mentioned about twice as often as any other barrier. So the takeaway here is clear. Personal financial confidence and overall affordability remain the biggest levers influencing whether consumers decide to travel abroad at all. When we look specifically at the United States, the story shifts from personal finances to how the destination itself is perceived. 1 in 4 say the United States has become an expensive vacation destination, placing cost as a key competitive disadvantage when travelers are choosing between the United States and other countries. So while finances limit international travel in general, for the USA, the challenge is that many consumers simply don't see it as a good value compared with alternative destinations. To close the research update, I'll pull the threads together. First, 2025 is a soft visitation year. Arrivals are down 4% year to date, and the full forecast is 6% below 2024, with most of the weakness in Canada and overseas markets, even as Mexico grows. Second, air connectivity is a real positive. Nonstop capacity is now above pre-pandemic levels, with more origin airports, more countries, and nearly 200 new routes planned into the United States. Third, demand is still there. Global intent to take an international trip is holding steady, and the United States remains the #1 leisure destination across the markets we track. Finally, cost is the main headwind for international travel in general and for choosing the US specifically. That underscores why our market selection work and our value messaging is so important as we plan for FY26. That concludes the research update. Thank you all for your time. Fred, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Chelsea, very much. As we can see, affordability remains a top concern for travelers around the world, and you'll see that reflected in our content and in our messaging and response. But more importantly, you'll see us focusing on high-yield travelers, which is a very resilient segment of the market. We also know that major global events, of course, will be powerful demand drivers, certainly in the year ahead. With increased attention on the United States during these moments, we have a unique opportunity to inspire future travel and keep the USA top of mind. At the end of September, the board approved by unanimous consent our FY26 business plan, which now sits with the Department of Commerce for review and approval. We've worked closely and collaboratively with the Commerce team to ensure this plan represents the best body of work to drive meaningful economic impact. So with that, I'll now pass it over to our Chief Public Affairs Officer, Aaron Woden Schwartz, to walk through the details of that plan. Aaron?
Thank you, Fred, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. As Fred mentioned, this plan, which every year, usually in the summer, we go through a business planning process. And just as a quick refresher for folks on the Travel Promotion Act, we send this to the Commerce Department because the Secretary of Commerce, in conjunction with the Secretaries of State and Homeland Security, actually have approval authority over those objectives within the plan. But the plan itself contains our marketing approach as well as our financing and budget for the year. We feel really proud about this plan, and as soon as it is approved, of course, it'll be public on our website, it'll go live, and we really look forward to the public being able to put their hands on it as well. And thanks to the board for the somewhat off-schedule approval of this, as it was subject to ongoing discussions directly with the leadership at Commerce and in the administration. So appreciate that, and again, to the public, look forward to sharing it with all of you. On the next slide, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the highlights that you will see in this plan. First and foremost, as Fred mentioned, it really highlights the critical role that Brand USA has to play in driving legitimate inbound travel to strengthen America's economy, bolster our exports, sustain quality jobs, and ultimately underwrite Americans' quality of life and public services. We really are taking an economic impact first approach here, and somewhat of a shift from some past practices where traveler volume and economic impact went hand in hand. We're really focused on the economic impact being paramount, especially that direct export revenues figure and our returns on investment to the American people. To do that, we're taking a data-driven approach to concentrate on the markets and the segments, as Chelsea just mentioned, that will really have the highest yields for us and have the highest potential for all of us. So in that vein, 12 markets are going to see 95% of our spend this fiscal year, and no more than 5% will be invested in other markets for the purposes of hedging against global shifts or long-term market development. So concentration of resources in fewer places for greater impact. We're also going to be focusing on the high-value segments that our competitors most want, and that will really help us both sustain the momentum and really move the needle for the economic impacts that we look to have. In just a few moments, you're going to hear from my colleagues about how we're going to build out this plan. You'll see America the Beautiful as the strategic organizing principle for how we're going to pursue our work across our disciplines, and how we hope to make a meaningful impact in the lives of the communities that we're here to serve. The plan will also discuss, as Fred just alluded to, how we're going to weave in next year's marquee events like the World Cup, like America's semi-quincentennial, and yes, even the Centennial of Route 66, how we're going to be weaving those into the fabric of all of our programming. And you'll hear about how everything we're building now will serve us into the future, especially our integration of AI as a base layer across our systems. So just as a reminder, this is still being considered for approval, and we look forward to that swift approval now that the government is back open, and ultimately to making this a public plan. But with that, Fred, I'll turn it back to you, and we can hear from the team about how they're going to bring it to life.
Thank you very much, Aaron. I have every confidence that the body of work that we put forward across FY26 is going to deliver for the country and the American people. And I'd like to pass it back to Don to discuss our FY26 budget.
Thank you, Fred. Why don't we just go to the next slide, which really gives us the picture of the budget. To finance the plan that Aaron just discussed, we've allocated $158 million to deliver on that plan. The real takeaway here is really looking at the dark blue piece of the pie. 90% of the budget is allocated directly to putting money into the marketing piece of our business. Operations is only 9%, public affairs is 1%. So our overhead is around 10%. So that's a real standard for nonprofits. So we're in good shape. So overall, this shows that almost every dollar we spend goes directly toward our marketing efforts while keeping operations and public affairs lean and efficient. So I thank you for passing the budget earlier in the fall. So with that, I'll take any questions. Turn it back to you, Fred.
All right, very good. Thank you, Don, for all of that. And I appreciate your leadership and that of your team in the prudence and rigor with which you do your work. So thank you. Future Forward is a theme we've been using to articulate all the exciting things on the horizon for the U.S. inbound tourism industry. We introduced it recently in London at Brand USA Travel Week, for those of you who may have been there, and it continues to resonate. We're standing, of course, at one of the most exciting chapters in American travel as we look toward 26 and beyond. We all know that next year presents a major opportunity to leverage key milestones and anniversaries to drive global demand and strengthen the USA's position as the top long-haul destination. America 250 is our invitation to celebrate what makes our country unique. We are committed to elevating this moment across our key global markets with a unifying message that highlights 250 years of America the Beautiful, showcasing the people, places, and experiences that have helped shape the nation. Then there's what may be the single biggest tourism opportunity of the decade, of course, the 2026 World Cup. And as everyone knows, this will be the largest and most expansive World Cup in history, with 48 teams competing across 11 US cities, in addition to markets in Canada and Mexico. And connecting all of this opportunity is our campaign and platform, America the Beautiful, which will serve as connective tissue, bringing all of our work together to meet this moment and beyond. We're prioritizing the markets and traveler segments where we can make the greatest impact, being intentional with our investments, using an integrated strategy that connects consumer marketing, trade engagement, PR, partnerships, and AI to turn traveler inspiration into bookings in incredibly powerful ways. I'd now like to call on our Chief Marketing Officer, Leah Chandler, to talk more about America the Beautiful and how it will roll out. Leah.
Thanks so much, Fred. It's been really exciting to see America the Beautiful come to life in recent months, culminating with the official launch in October. It's a new chapter for Brand USA. It's really more than just a campaign. It's a unified brand strategy for the United States as a travel destination. And this effort's going to tell the story of America bigger, bolder, and more beautifully than ever before. Above all, the campaign is rooted in what we know audiences around the world love about America, and it's backed by research revealing exactly the tone and the message that's going to resonate with those audiences in this moment. We've already produced more than 1,000 assets to showcase the campaign across video, digital, social, and more. And today we're going to share 4 hero videos that we've designed to really win visitors' hearts and minds. We're starting with our hero spot titled America the Beautiful, that reveals America's beauty isn't only in its landscapes, it's in the human connections that travelers experience when they're here. The spot highlights iconic Route 66 alongside campfires and coastlines, really defining only in America moments.
What makes a visit to America beautiful? Sure, the place itself will leave you speechless, but it's more than that. It's the moments with locals you didn't know, but will never forget. A biker on Route 66 who gives you the nod. The campfire where you find out we're all a little closer than we think. Sunrises and surf sets, barbecue that's worth the wait. This great big open arms hug of a land has a million moments to offer. So find yours. Plan your trip now.
Our next spot is titled America the Brave. It showcases America's invitation to spontaneity and thrills. The yes mindset is framed as the key to unlocking what makes a trip to America unforgettable and emphasizes the idea that travelers shouldn't just observe, but really should participate in the culture when they're here.
When you visit America, don't be shy. Just say yes. Yes to things you've never tried. Yes to things you definitely should try. Yes to, you only live once. Say yes before you know what you're saying yes to. Yes when it's a little crazy. And yes when it's a little too much. So go ahead. Find your yes. Plan your trip now.
Our next spot, America the Bespoke, underscores America as a destination filled with possibility and access to the extraordinary. The spot highlights America's reputation for big moments, bucket list experiences, and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities.
In America, anything's possible. You don't follow a script here. You write one. You want seats that seem impossible to get? Take 2. You want to eat something you've only seen on TV? Well, bon appetit. A day you can only dream of? We just call that a Tuesday. America's full of one-of-a-kind kinds of things. So find yours. Plan your trip now.
And our final spot, America the Big-Hearted, spotlights America as a must-visit destination for families. Fun, playful, and full of wonder. Here we bring to life iconic American family experiences, including fireworks, theme parks, beaches, and outdoor adventures.
America. Kids tend to like it here. Fireworks, cotton candy, ice cream scoops the size of a child's head, beaches for playing, aquariums for awing, and big, twisty, turny roller coasters for screaming. Nothing brings a family closer than a day at the park, a night on the town, or a sleep under the stars. Find out why parents like it here too. Plan your trip now.
As a complement to our video strategy, we've developed display ads to ensure visibility across high traffic sites in our target markets. These ads extend the campaign through visual storytelling, combining imagery of human connection and iconic landscapes with animated headlines. You'll also see that we're using location markers displaying the city and state to reinforce a sense of place. These ads were curated for each international market specifically, featuring trans-created text in the local language and imagery tailored to audience interests such as outdoor activities, arts and culture, luxury products, and family-focused offerings. America the Beautiful today is running across our 9 priority markets. The first flight is going to conclude at the end of November. In calendar year 26, we'll apply learnings from this first flight and optimize to the best performing partners and placements through the remainder of the fiscal year. Beyond the core media plans, which will run during key planning windows per country, we're also exploring a variety of additional opportunities. This includes an out-of-home presence at Travel Week India and Brazil, as well as content amplification, and for the first time ever, building a consumer email database. As part of our launch at Travel Week Europe, we curated a bold, attention-grabbing out-of-home takeover to drive excitement and curiosity and share that America is the ultimate getaway to authentic, human-driven travel experiences. The takeover included iconic, high-profile locations such as Kensington, Westminster Towers, the landmark London Bridge Waterloo, and Heathrow. So let's take a quick look at a video. As it's been mentioned previously, momentum for 2026 marquee events is building. December 5th is a global moment with a projected 1 billion viewers watching the FIFA draw at Kennedy Center. Research shows World Cup attendees are high-value travelers who want to explore beyond the stadiums, but planning overwhelm is their biggest barrier. To align with the World Cup draw, we developed a media program to reach audiences who are reading World Cup content. The inline video will run an existing America the Beautiful video in combination with a display banner featuring America the Beautiful game, messaging that's going to encourage readers to visit our website. We've selected the most relevant markets for this activation, focusing on those who have already clinched a spot. We're also creating a digital hub mapping host cities, base camps, and important points of interest in between. Our AI integration is going to be key here, from contextual prompts about the World Cup to converting existing PDF guides into dynamic digital itineraries. For a social media extension, we're creating snackable city guides that promote 3 things to do in each host city. We're calling this our Hat Trick series. And this is going to launch with the World Cup draw announcement and continue through the first part of next year. This becomes a prototype for future live events. Once built, it's going to be scalable for the Olympics and other events that we know international visitors are going to find appealing. And next, American Originals is the name of an upcoming content series with a focus on America 250 that will add storytelling depth and dimension to our America the Beautiful platform. These 4-minute hero films will tell a complete narrative, diving deep into 4 themes: taste, screen, music, and style. In addition to the longer form videos, we're creating 10 and 15-second cut downs that work for TikTok and Reels. It's both depth for people who are ready to plan and reach for people who are just discovering America as a destination they might be interested in visiting. The Spark and Echo concept is really at the heart of this program. We're not just saying America invented movies, we're telling the story of how the entertainment industry started in America and then exported pop culture globally. When international travelers see that connection between their culture and American origins, it becomes personal. They're not just visiting, they're completing a story that they're already a part of. What you'll see is every single American original story links directly to destinations where you can actually experience it. So if someone's watching our film about barbecue culture, they're 1 click away from planning a trip to Texas Hill Country. American Originals is one tile of a much larger mosaic. America the Beautiful is that mosaic. This platform is about creating scale and momentum, not just for Brand USA, but for every partner who's on this call and beyond. So next, Angie's going to share a bit more about the partnership lens and how it's going to further amplify the moment.
Thanks, Leah. The great news around America Beautiful Creative is that it allows us to very easily integrate partners into the campaign, which clearly would extend our reach globally, that additional investment into our target markets. And it really elevates the voices of our destinations, our hotels, our airlines, and other partners as part of an overall marketing investment. So while Leah's team's efforts are more high funnel and inspirational, the partner component really allows for pushing visitors down the funnel and into researching, planning, and booking. So you can see some examples here of how America the Beautiful Creative comes to life for our partners and really bakes them in to the whole overall feel of the campaign. So right now, we're currently working on more ways to scale the media opportunities for partners, as well as create content development programs that align with our efforts that Leah just mentioned around America 250 and also FIFA World Cup. So there's definitely more to come for partner opportunities in the next few weeks and months. And meanwhile, just a shameless plug here that our deadlines for participating in first and second quarter calendar quarters for partner programs are upon us. So I encourage you to reach out to your partner engagement representative if you want to know more about how to plug in. And again, we'll be announcing some new content opportunities for partners to participate in the near future. So that's a few highlights from the partner team. Brad.
That's awesome. Angie, thank you so much. And thank you to Leah as well. And congrats to your teams on what has become a truly remarkable platform and messaging framework. So thank you for the incredible work. Brand USA Travel Week UK and Europe held just a few weeks ago, as Leah mentioned, in London, was a strong reflection on how this new messaging is supportive of our B2B engagement as well for trade and for media. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Trade and Product Development Officer, Malcolm Smith, for a more in-depth review of Travel Week and more.
Great. Thank you, Fred. And for those who aren't familiar, Brand USA Travel Week is a cornerstone of our international trade and media engagement strategy. 3 attributes set it apart from a traditional sales meeting. First, instead of traveling from city to city, we bring all the key buyers and media into one location, maximizing efficiency and creating highly collaborative and cost-effective marketplace for our partners. Second, we tailor programming to 3 key audiences: trade, media, and leadership, ensuring each receives content that is relevant and actionable. And third, the week centers on pre-scheduled appointments, curated networking, and enrichment sessions that deliver market-specific insights. This year marked our 7th edition of Travel Week UK and Europe, our largest yet, with almost 900 attendees, nearly doubling in size since the program launched in 2019. We also expanded into a second venue to support a growing enrichment education program, and for the first time brought trade and media together as we launched America the Beautiful. We saw growth across all audience segments, especially media and leadership. Media program attendance increased more than 30%, and leadership participation grew nearly 20%, demonstrating Travel Week's rising strategic importance. Pre-scheduled appointments remain the most valuable component of Travel Week, and this year we delivered 11,000 appointments. 63% increase year over year. And overall satisfaction of the event was exceptionally strong. 97% of attendees stated they were satisfied or very satisfied with their experience. And now let's take a quick look at the highlight video recapping Travel Week UK Europe 2025.
It's a pleasure to welcome everyone again to the 7th edition of Brand USA's Travel Week UK and Europe. There are nearly 900 delegates, and it's a truly remarkable showing.
Travel and tourism is a huge economic driver no matter where it's happening. So instead of just recycling dollars within the country, it's actually bringing in additive dollars that we wouldn't otherwise had.
Travel conducted out of Brand USA Travel Week helps to create jobs and economic impact on main streets all throughout the U.S., every state, every territory. This is the best investments we can make in growing our national economy.
We are so lucky to have Brand USA as a trusted partner in the international landscape, advocating for us all over the world.
We have found that over time, the relationships that we built through Travel Week have been a really great opportunity for us to kind of continue to remind people why Minnesota is so great.
Brand USA does a great job of bringing well-qualified tour operators, being able to meet with several different people from several different countries all in one place. That's immeasurable.
Travel, it's kind of the easiest export product you could possibly have. When you get somebody from a foreign country, you've essentially created an export product, and you didn't have to ship anything, you didn't have to produce or manufacture anything.
It's great exposure for our economy, but it's also a great opportunity for our citizens to get to experience other cultures.
And this is our time to look ahead, to innovate, to adapt, and to shape what comes next together.
Based on positive feedback, we're expanding the Travel Week format to additional international markets. In January, we will hold Brand USA Travel Week India, a market contributing more than $23 billion to the U.S. economy in 2024. It's no surprise that the event is sold out, with more than 40 U.S. travel suppliers registered. Travel Week India builds on our longstanding sales mission with enhanced media, leadership, and enrichment programming. The week of March 16th marks the inaugural Brand USA Travel Week South America, which will be hosted in Brazil. This is an investment in this rapidly growing region that will unite U.S. exhibitors with buyers and media from Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, and Peru. With arrivals up 12% and spending up 14% to more than $20 billion in 2024, these 5 markets now account for 10% of all overseas visitor spend. Registration is now open through December 19th, and we'll host an informational video on December 11th to provide additional market insights as well as event details. And Brand USA Travel Week UK Europe returns to the European continent September 28th through October 1, 2026 in Amsterdam. Mark your calendars as registration will open in mid-February. In addition to Travel Week, as Fred mentioned, our fiscal year 26 trade efforts will further integrate America the Beautiful campaign, from launching the 250 USA Ambassador Travel Advisor Program to elevating the 250 trip ideas on americathebeautiful.com. We'll continue highlighting the depth and breadth of the US to the travel trade. Beginning next year, our Destination Immersion Program, formerly known as MegaFams, will also align with the campaign. Itineraries will be built around themes such as America the Breathtaking, America the Bespoke, America the Big Stage, and America the Bold, bringing the campaign to life through in-person experiences that deepen product knowledge and increase visitation. This fall's German-speaking market immersion showcased the impact of this approach, bringing 30 leading advisors and product managers to multiple Midwestern destinations and connecting them with local DMOs and more than 65 small businesses, equipping the trade professionals to sell the U.S. with greater confidence, authenticity, and enthusiasm. Looking ahead, our 2026 UK-Ireland immersion in April will expand this model, bringing 60 trade professionals to destinations across the West, the South, the Southeast, further extending our national reach and supporting future product development. And across all markets, we will work with tour operators and trade partners willing to carry the America the Beautiful campaign into their own channels through co-op initiatives, expanding its reach globally. And with that, Fred, I'll turn it back over to you.
It's awesome, Malcolm. Thank you so much. It's really terrific to look back on Travel Week and see what a success it was. The numbers really speak for themselves, and to take that momentum into new markets is such a cool opportunity. So appreciate all you and your team have done. I'd now like to call on our Chief Communications Officer, Chris Haywood, to discuss some of our key storytelling priorities as we look to proliferate positive storytelling around the globe. Chris.
Thank you, Fred. And proliferating positive storytelling is our mantra. It really is an exciting time to be leading the global communications and PR teams. I also want to take a special moment to thank all of our international offices around the globe, 15 markets across 5 continents that continue to tell the stories of the USA. Our strategy really centers on leveraging America's 250th anniversary as a compelling content narrative. And we're launching a comprehensive 250 years of America the Beautiful press release series. This 5-part series connects the nation's 7th to the moments that will drive visitation: the World Cup, luxury travel, outdoor and adventure, family experiences, and of course, road trips. This final theme is particularly timely as we celebrate the centennial of Route 66, reinforcing the iconic Great American Road Trip, and it is a great sell. To bring these stories to life, we are hosting influential travel and lifestyle media from our 15 international markets through our America the Beautiful Visiting Journalist Program. This is a really successful initiative. Last year alone, we hosted more than 100 media from throughout the globe to spotlight all the great experiences that our partners have to offer. These translate into compelling stories about our destinations. These curated press trips will generate authentic, experience-driven content that resonates with global audiences and, of course, drives urgency to visit. We're also taking our story directly to the key markets through in-market media relations, through our media desk side appointments, ensuring that top-tier journalists from around the world understand the multitude of unmatched demand generators we have lined up for 2026. Finally, we are implementing a robust international broadcast media strategy to maximize World Cup coverage. And we'll be speaking to all of the host cities to really showcase not just the matches, but really the vibrancy, beauty, and cultural richness of our destinations to a global television audience. This approach will really position us to leverage this historic global milestone and attention into sustained visitation and economic impact for the U.S. I'll pass it back to you, Fred.
That's great, Chris. Thank you so much. I mean, we all know the power of positive storytelling around the world and how key it is to keeping USA top of mind. So thank you to all you and your team for all the work that you're doing. Of course, we know we're going to have 2 big pivotal moments coming up. December the 5th with the FIFA draw. The eyes are going to turn to the U.S. as those names are drawn, the team names are drawn, and the cities are paired with them. And we'll be off to the races, not only on the media front, coverage for the U.S., and we're certainly going to look to intersect that, but also from a booking perspective. I think it's such a huge moment for us. And then, of course, as we move into the games themselves next summer. So nothing but opportunity in regards to those big events and those windows. And one of the most powerful ways, of course, we tell stories is by leading global destination marketing into the AI era. And so I want to turn over the program to our Chief AI Officer, Jeanette Rausch, to share more about our innovation efforts in this space and why it's so important that we do this work today to lay the groundwork for the future. So Jeanette.
Thank you, Fred. I want to take just a moment to share our organizational vision for AI, which is meant to be the strategic lens through which we pursue our work. So our vision is to use intelligent systems to connect the world to the stories, people, and places of the United States. Our focus is on making discovery personal, inspiration effortless, and travel decisions frictionless for visitors. And we're going to bring this vision to life through 3 key strategic drivers. So the first is empowering our people by building AI literacy across the entire organization at Brand USA, so that innovation becomes instinctive to the staff. Second, we hope to inspire the industry. So we want to be the standard bearer for ethical and creative AI use and destination marketing. And third, we want to reimagine discovery, using AI to make America more visible and bookable across all platforms and languages. And that second pillar, inspiring our industry, that is critical because we can't lead alone. And so to that end, I'd like to encourage everybody on the call as leaders in this space to join our next Agents of Change webinar. You'll see on the screen that it will be held on December 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's focusing on a really important topic, building your organization's AI policy. This is the 8th webinar in our monthly series, which addresses both tactical and strategic topics that apply to our partners regarding artificial intelligence. This topic is so important because as an industry, we can't move forward when so many of our partners are still struggling to put AI governance into place. And so this webinar is designed to provide that essential framework for you. We have a QR code on the screen for easy registration, and we hope to see you and your teams there. Thank you very much. I'll give it back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much, Ned. It's so important, this topic, and I thank you for continuing to push the narrative and push the strategy forward. I mean, I look at just how strategies or search is being disrupted already. I mean, I rarely go past the first part of search results as they are today. I can only imagine where it's going to rapidly change to, especially when it comes to content. So thanks for keeping us all on our toes and pushing us all forward to make sure that not just Brand USA stays competitive, but USA overall stays competitive on a global scale. So with that, in closing, I'm happy to open up to the board for any questions. I do want to thank each and every one of you for your steadfast support and your leadership. There is no question that Brand USA, our efforts, this team is stronger because of your vision and the industry's collaboration and the dedication of my extraordinary colleagues. So as you can see through today's presentation, there's a tremendous amount of strategic thinking and work being done behind the scenes and across the organization as we prepare to move into another pivotal year next year. And I thank everyone for all that they are doing on that front. So with that, I'm happy to open the floor to any questions, Todd, and I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, Fred, thank you so much. Fellow board members, any questions, comments at this time? Mike?
I have one for Chris. Love what you're doing with fan trips and the press releases around the World Cup. I would encourage you not to forget those cities that have base camp sites as well. You know, they're going to be there for probably the teams, and some of the fans will be there longer than they will be in some of the host cities. So just, I know you are. I just want to go on record since Louisville's a base camp site. I need to get that in there.
We want to use this as a catalyst to really drive visitation through every corner of the US. And I think people will be coming. The goal for us is really exploration, getting them to go from A to B, getting in their cars, potentially to do road trips pre and post. But absolutely, it's just one more demand generator. There's also all the great things that our partners are offering, all the new, all the noteworthy. Please send that information to us because we want to hear about it. And that also contributes to our storytelling. So absolutely.
And Mike, on the trade site, we do have itineraries both for host cities and base camps.
Great, thank you.
We'll be pushing those out as soon as the draw happens. Even before.
Well, and since we have a worldwide audience, you're open invitation to come to Kentucky.
There you go. Jen, say a couple words on the back of that about how AI is going to, on our site and our tools are going to use this content to imagine any kind of itinerary that travelers are thinking about, to spark imaginations. Because on December 5th, once everyone knows where the teams are going to be playing, people are going to start planning their trips, going to think about where they're going, and what's AI going to do to sort of influence that conversation.
So on the site, we have Mindtrip embedded throughout americathebeautiful.com. We are able to pre-populate what are called guides inside the Mindtrip platform. So we can take some of the pre-planned itineraries that have already been built for the trade side, put those into Mindtrip so that when you click on a button that's on the site, it will automatically bring up that pre-written itinerary and then allow you to, like, a static itinerary doesn't do anybody much good because who wants to do something just as it's been pre-programmed? So what this does is give you the bones of your itinerary, and then you can go in and change it until it is personalized to you. And that's really the experience that customers are experiencing now, or what they're looking for. You don't want a website to be a static experience anymore. It's more, how does this experience mold itself to my specific needs? And so that's what we're going to be creating on those portions of the website.
Dynamic. Incredible. Very good. Tom?
Any other thoughts or comments at this time? Mike, I just wanted to come in behind your comment because I'm kind of right there with you regarding just the World Cup piece of it. And that is when Oregon had the opportunity in 22 to host the World Athletics Championships. The organizers were very adept at talking about the economic impact of the 10 days of the event. And I said, I love it. I love all of it, but I want to know what happens on day 11. And it's all about how do you leverage that event? How do you leverage all that interest that's leading up to the event? And then obviously the event itself to then generate future trips to your destination. And you're obviously on top of that. I'm hearing it, with the trade, with the media, with the way we're helping folks plan itineraries, that this will be seen as a source for them to be able to go back to. So whether you're base camp or your host city in Kentucky or wherever you may be, congratulations, team. It's great work. Any other comments at this time? If not, I just want to thank the team for the presentations today. We are so well served by each and every one of you. And I just appreciate your strategic vision and your tenacity as we navigate what is a very dynamic and very fluid environment right now. And Fred, as always, for your leadership. Thank you. We're at a year plus right now, my friend, and it's so I feel like I should still welcome you and still thank you, and but just grateful for your leadership.
Thank you. It's an honor.
At Brand USA as well. And to my fellow board members, thank you as well. I appreciate you making the time to be able to be here and be able to provide that strategic guidance and leadership to Fred and to the team. And to the hundreds that have joined us online, thank you. Thank you for your interest in our work. Thank you for your ongoing partnership and support of the work. Rest assured, Angie will probably be following up with each and every one of you personally, looking for future partnership opportunities as well. With that, my friends, we are adjourned.
Thank you.